Hi, everybody. I'm Brandon Lee, the founder of FunnelAmplified, and thank you for taking about 20 minutes of your time to learn about our digital sales enablement solution. So there's four key things that we know that we have added value to customers through our case studies and feedback. We help companies accelerate their sales cycles, which we know is a big challenge at the moment. We create more conversations with your prospects. We increase brand visibility, and we help you win more deals. And the way that we're doing that is where the uniqueness comes in. We have a proven data-driven training program and a social selling enablement technology, or a digital sales enablement technology, depending on which term that you prefer. And I'm going to explain what we mean by that as well. So let me ask you a few questions about your current sales playbook. And these are from conversations we've had with customers for the last really 12 months in a post-COVID world. What does your current playbook look like? Are you making more calls in 2021 than you did in previous years, especially 2019 or earlier, because we know 2020 was just, a unique mess. So how are your calls working? What is the ROI, and how is that working to prospect and fill your pipeline with high qualified prospects? What about email? Are you sending more emails? And if so, how is that working? I ask these questions because a lot of customers will come to us and say, hey, we're making more calls, we're sending more emails, but we're not producing the numbers we need to produce. So the question always is, what do you plan to do next year? And this is funny, and and please don't take this personal. This is a funny little cartoon for all of us. In a current time with all this digital transformation and change, a lot of us just didn't know what to do. It's kind of like when cloud era came about and everyone said, you got to move to the cloud. And a lot of us were like, what does that mean? And all of a sudden we're now use Gmail or web-based email instead of a, email on a server in our offices, and all those things that are less expensive and more efficient for us. And we're in a new era, if you will, of digital transformation. And my belief, my experience is it's all wrapped around social. So the question is, what are we all going to do differently as we move into 2022? Well, here's the way that I look at prospecting in a digital era. The traditional marketing is the funnel. And the funnel was extremely valuable for a lot of years because people were going to websites and reading and putting their name into a form and downloading PDFs and requesting to be on email databases, and a lot of that early internet activity that was new and novel. And all of us participated as buyers because it was new and novel. But let me ask you this question. How is that currently working in your business? The data from Gartner and McKinsey and others, and this is applicable no matter how big your company is or isn't, is that the funnel, visitors to websites, engaging with website content, filling out forms to say, I want to talk to somebody, all of that data has been reduced, especially in this post-COVID era. So the traditional funnel has been very expensive. It's top of the funnel, get as many people as you can at the top. And it's happening through email and social ads and PPC and newsletters and everything else. The idea is get as many as you can at the top. And through their engagement with us, it's going to go down the funnel, and out's going to come a customer. But again, it's very inefficient. With your funnel, what's the data? Do you need 100? Do you need 1,000? Do you need 2,000, 5,000 people at the top of the funnel to get out one paying customer? Only you know your data. I just can ask those questions. But when you look at that data and the efficiency of it, this is what I propose that we need to do in this digital era. Now, some of you may look and see the term micro-influencer here and go, oh, we're not influencers. And you've got visions of Kim Kardashian and people like that coming to mind. My proposition to you is this: don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? There's a lot of things, whatever your thoughts are about Kim Kardashian and others like her. Let's take a look at what they've done well and what's beneficial for us and our companies, right? If you take a look at this inverted funnel, and that's what we talk about, amplifying the funnel, is up at the top is the individuals that make up your team. Through social, we have the ability to prospect, to have conversations, to share content, to engage with people, just like we would in real life networking events, just like we would with phone calls, just like we did with emails, just like we did with going to conferences, except we do it a lot more efficiently and inexpensively when it's done in social media. So as a person on your team begins to create content, share content, engage with people online, and do it at scale, what happens is they build a community of people who know them, like them, trust them, and know your brand and what your brand represents. It creates a lot of conversations. So if you look at some of the existing data that you take a look at, whether you call them your KPIs, depends on the size of your company. But these are a lot of the data points that we look at. How many calls did we make? How many emails did we send out? How many follow-up calls? What's the size of our contact list? How many lunches did we have? Meetings did we create? Networking events did we go to? How much sales activity we actually completed in our traditional analog offline world? And I asked the question then is, what does your current sales playbook look like I did a couple of slides ago? And how is that working for you? Are you making more calls? Are you sending more emails? Are you trying to go to more events when events are actually happening? Are you getting customers to want to have lunch and attend lunches? What is the cost and what is the efficiency and efficacy of those types of events or sales activities? What I propose is that to do those activities in a digital world, number one, it's much more cost effective. You can connect with more people quicker, and it has a way of accelerating conversations. So we call it the digital selling success triangle because there's three key activities that we need to do every day in social media in order to prospect. We need to expand our network, make more connections with people. We need to share content, and we need to engage with people. And I want to take a pause because I know at this point, a lot of people kind of put their arms up and they go, well, I don't create content and I don't have time to engage with people on social media. And I get that. But let me ask you this question. How many hours do you spend making phone calls? And what effect is that producing for you right now? What if I was able to show you a way of doing the same type of behavior as phone calls and prospecting and conversations and building rapport and relationship with ideal customers, but instead of doing it here or in email, we're doing it in social platforms like LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. That's what it means to have a digital selling enablement technology or platform like FunnelAmplified. So how does it look and what do we do? Well, instead of looking at the analog versions of your KPIs, like calls and emails and networking events and lunches, we look at a new set of KPIs that are digitally based or socially based. How many new connections did we get every day, every week, every month with targeted prospective customers? How much content did you create and what was the value? Because just like when you pick up the phone and call somebody, you want to have a conversation to get to know them and let them get to know you. We just do it digitally in the form of content and social posts. And the value is that you can have lots of conversations with lots of people at the same time. It's just that much more efficient. And I know a lot of people go, oh, I don't know how to create content. We're going to show you how to do it. And the reality is all of you have been creating content for a super long time. You just haven't thought about it because all of a sudden we use the word content. But every time you picked up the phone and had a conversation with somebody, you were creating content. You were creating content on the fly, actually. When somebody sends you an email and asks you a question and you answer, you create content. When you have conversations with people at lunch or at conferences or networking events, at church, whatever it may be, you're creating content. So what we do is work with you and train you on how to take that form of content and translate it into written content that goes into social media and into content hubs that has the same outcomes. It helps you be known, it helps you be trusted, and it helps you generate additional conversations with your ideal customers. So practically, how does it look like in our platform? Well, in the technology itself, we have a digital prospecting tool that helps you do these 3 key activities: connect with more people, engage with them in social media, and create and share content in social media. And if you're part of a team, you don't have to create all the content, because our platform also allows your marketing team or your sales support teams to create content, put it into the library, and provide it for every individual salesperson on the team. So this is how we enable social selling success. We have our platform, our technology that leads you through daily sales or prospecting activities. And we have our social selling training academy that we're really teaching you how to take those offline activities that you already know, you've already mastered, you already do extremely well, and translate them or transfer them into digital-based activities like creating content, engaging with people online, and creating conversations with more people in less time. What I really hope you're hearing, especially if you're sales leaders or business leaders, is that this is a profitable activity. We're going to help you save time. We help salespeople close more deals, which means you may not have to hire as many salespeople to hit the same numbers. And we really are influencing not just the P&L, but we can influence your EBITDA as well. So here's our roadmap. Here's the ideal roadmap. And this isn't ideal for every customer. I get that. But let me show you what the ideal roadmap looks like, and then a version that may potentially work for your business. But the roadmap starts with coming into your company, and we do a social strategy workshop. Ideally, we do this with leadership because the end result is that we want to identify your company objectives. Where are the opportunities? What are potential barriers to using social as a communication channel? And at the end of that, we develop a social vision statement. Now, what does that mean? Just like a mission statement, it gives the team direction on how we see and how we use social to develop better relationships with either existing customers, prospective customers, and our entire industry. That's what a social vision statement is, and how it gives you a roadmap and a vision for you and the team on how we want to use social, again, as a communication channel, just like you've used the phone and email and networking events in the past. Now, the next step is, and this isn't for everybody, and this is one of the ones that a lot of smaller companies will not do this, and that's okay, but we'll do a digital audit and a competitive analysis. We want to look at what your existing team's digital footprint is, because the only way we're going to show growth is if we start with the foundation. We're also going to take a look at who your competitors are and what they're doing, what they're not doing. And this is one of the most exciting things for me, because we build a plan to help you digitally dominate the news feed. Now, here's what I mean by that. Let's look at an analogy. If you had an ideal networking event, sometimes they're conferences, and there's a room and it's just filled with your ideal customers, and you want to know them, and you want them to know you, your brand, your sales team, your customer success team. You really just want them to know your team. What if you had an opportunity that throughout this entire room, this large ballroom with hundreds or thousands of people, and every single one of them, every time they turned around, there was your team. And not just in a sales message like, hey, I want to sell you a product, but everywhere they looked, there was your team members that they liked, they knew, they trusted, they believed in. If you had that in a big conference room like that, your competition would have no chance to compete with you. That's what I mean by digitally dominating the newsfeed. What if we could train your team and get your team using social technology in a way that every time your customers, your prospective customers, your industry is in their news feeds like LinkedIn, they're just seeing your team, seeing your brand, seeing people engaging with you, talking with you, asking you questions. It's pretty awesome. We have a few customers that are experiencing it already, and they're wowed at how it helps their recruiting. It's helping their pipeline. It's building a sense of purpose amongst the team. It's actually influencing retention because people love being a part of the team. It's actually one of the most fun times I've ever had in building companies or serving customers and watching their companies digitally dominate the news feed. You can tell I get really giddy when I talk about that. The next thing we do is our social selling and influence training. Again, if you don't like the word social, it's okay. It's digital. How are we using social media alongside your emails and your phone calls to prospect, create conversations, and therefore fill your pipeline with very highly qualified customers? The goal that we do with this training, and we've experienced with customers, is instead of you being a seller, your industry looks at you as somebody who they want to buy from. We really want to present your brand, your messaging, your personal brand in a way that people are coming to buy from you because they see you as an influencer. They see you as somebody that can help them solve their problems, not somebody that's going to bug them to have a demo or a meeting or try to sell them something. So the social selling and influence training it's an intensive, it's an investment. It's an investment of time and it's an investment of money. But it's sales training, it's prospect training, it's the foundation of your business, because without good prospecting, without good sales, our businesses aren't growing. It reminds me of another cartoon, and maybe you all have seen this. It's the CFO looking at a bill going, hey, what if we train all these people and then they leave? And the head of sales says, well, what if we don't train all of them and they stay? And that's the question that I propose to you, whether it's you looking at training for yourself or whether you're a sales leader or a business leader looking at sales training for your team. You know, I've been in sales training for over 20 years inside my companies and with customers. And what I do know is this, is that the difference in ROI between a highly trained salesperson and a not so well-trained salesperson is significant to your bottom line, to your profitability. It's one of the best investments you can make. And honestly, in most industries, it's the investment that doesn't happen most often. Most companies will hire a salesperson and, you know, give them a phone, give them a cell phone, give them an email address, and go get them. And that is not the best recipe for success. So it's a 12-week program. It's designed with 5 workshops. They're live on Zoom. They're recorded. If you can't make it live, you can watch a recording, or some people like to watch the recording after the live to really deep dive the training. And then it includes also one-on-one coaching, because the shift in change is difficult. And we believe the investment in the one-on-one coaching really solidifies the training. I mean, look, we've all been through it. There's only so much we learn and pick up on video-based training or Zoom-based training. And so the one-on-one coaching really accelerates the learning and therefore accelerates the effectiveness. And then we have our Funnel Amplified Social Selling Academy, which includes access to our technology, the digital prospecting tool that I referenced earlier, and it includes weekly ongoing training. There's additional modules for teams that say, hey, we really want to deep dive into Twitter or Instagram or other tools. We talk a lot about content creation and storytelling. We really focus just on ongoing sales training, specifically in a digital environment. Because honestly, as we move forward, so much of our sales, so much of our relationships are going to happen right here on our screens. And the more human we can make those, the more powerful we can make them for our teams. And therefore, we grow our revenues and retain more clients. So this is what FunnelAmplified does. We enable your teams to use social to effectively start more conversations with ideal customers. Conversations create relationships that lead to opportunities. So that means we're growing pipeline. Our industry sees us as trusted advisors, influencers, people that have great sources of information. And most importantly, they don't see us as salespeople that bug them, asking for meetings, asking for demos, trying to interrupt their day with phone calls and emails. We help our customers secure more meetings and, of course, win more deals. Hey, if this sounds interesting to you, this sounds like something that could benefit you or you and your company, I would love to have a conversation with you. Here's all my contact information. Look, I am not a high pressure salesperson. I love to have conversations. I can share with you case study data. I can answer any of your questions. And look, if we are a good fit for you, if your company has been challenged with converting more deals, and your current playbook, your current tools of phone calls, emails, live events are not producing like they once were. My challenge to you is this: incorporate digital selling like FunnelAmplified provides alongside your existing systems, phones and emails, capture the data and compare. It makes sense for us to do these things in a test mode and then look at the data and then decide to put your time and your team's time into the activities that are producing the most ROI. And that's what we highly recommend. And we're very confident that social is extremely valuable for most companies in most industries. And we'd love to explore it with you. So thank you, everybody, for watching. My name is Brandon Lee. I'm the founder of FunnelAmplified, and we look forward to meeting you and serving you and answering any questions here soon. Thanks so much. Have a great day.